All right, ready to dive in. Today, we're looking at something pretty fascinating. The connection between the High Priestess tarot card and water alchemy.
Yeah, it's like, how can we use something tangible to understand those more, like, hidden parts of ourselves, like our intuition?
Using something physical to unlock something within us.
Right. And when we talk about unlocking things, we got to talk about the High Priestess.
Okay, let's do it.
She's the second card in the major arcana.
The second, wow, so she's important.
Oh, she is, yeah.
But she's not like a typical, I don't know, fortune teller,
No.
right? I mean, the imagery on the card.
No crystal ball, no.
So what's her deal then?
Think more like guardian of hidden knowledge.
Interesting.
She's seated between two pillars, holding a scroll. There's a veil behind her.
Lots of symbolism there.
Yeah, and every detail matters.
Okay, well, let's break it down.
All right, so those pillars,
Yeah, what of them?
they're marked B and J.
B and J.
It stands for Boaz and Jachin,
Interesting.
which represent, like, strength and establishment,
Okay, I see.
showing us she's not just wise, but also grounded in real power,
So she's got both wisdom and strength.
Exactly. And then there's the scroll she's holding.
What's that all about?
It's marked Torah,
Torah.
a reference to divine wisdom.
Oh, wow.
And then there's the veil behind her.
With those pomegranates.
Exactly. The
And I
pomegranates,
was wondering about those.
they symbolize fertility and abundance.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's not just about having hidden knowledge. It's about the potential for growth and creation that comes from connecting with that wisdom.
Turning knowledge into action.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a seed blooming.
And then there's the moon, right?
Oh, the moon.
At her feet.
Super important.
Why is that?
It's all about, like, intuition, the subconscious mind, the rhythms of the universe, all that good stuff.
Tying her to those deeper energies.
Yeah, the cyclical stuff, the natural flow.
Okay, so putting all those symbols together, what's the takeaway? What's she trying to tell us?
It's a message about trusting your inner voice, being open to the unknown, finding strength in stillness and receptivity, all of that.
Wow, that's powerful stuff.
And it all ties back to water alchemy.
How so?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
Water is all about flow, reflection, transformation.
Yeah, those are all themes we see with the High Priestess.
Exactly, like the journey she's inviting us on.
Like she's the guide.
In a way, yeah, water alchemy uses water as a tool to connect with your intuition, those deeper truths about yourself, the universe.
And the High Priestess embodies that process.
Beautifully, she really represents that potential for transformation and understanding that water alchemy can offer.
This is where it gets really interesting for me, the idea of universal energy.
Oh yeah, universal energy.
I've heard that term before, but it always felt kind of vague to me.
I get it, but it's closely connected to the High Priestess, you see.
Assume.
She embodies the divine feminine energy, the yin principle.
Okay, I've heard of yin and yang.
It's all about receptivity, nurturing, looking inward.
Not forcing things, but being open.
Exactly. And those qualities are reflected in the nature of water, calmness, power, reflectivity.
Yeah, I see that.
The High Priestess, she reminds us that sometimes the most profound insights, they come from stillness, from listening to our inner voice.
Not just esoteric knowledge, but practical wisdom.
It's about navigating the world and ourselves.
So where does tarot fit into all of this? Like the actual cards.
Ah, good question.
How does that work with water alchemy?
Think of the tarot, especially the High Priestess card, as a mirror.
A mirror. Not a literal one, right?
No, a mirror for your soul.
Okay.
They can help you reflect on your subconscious thoughts and emotions, those hidden things that influence us.
So using the High Priestess card is like tapping into the same energy that water embodies.
That's it. Using the card as a way to focus your intention, to connect with your intuition, that well of wisdom inside.
And water helps with that.
Absolutely. Water's a powerful conduit for that energy.
Okay, but how does someone actually do that? Like, how do people who practice water alchemy incorporate the High Priestess?
There are a few different ways. For one, using water as a literal mirror.
A literal mirror.
Free.
Scrying.
Scrying, what's that?
It's like gazing into a crystal ball.
But with water.
With water, you meditate on its surface, focusing on the energy of the High Priestess.
To quiet the mind and open up to intuition.
Exactly, seeing beyond the surface.
That's amazing.
And another practice is using water rituals.
Rituals.
To help release emotional blocks.
Like the High Priestess uncovering hidden truths.
Yeah, these rituals can bring up emotions so you can acknowledge them, let them go.
Like water washing away negative energy.
Exactly, creating space for healing.
And stillness, right. That's important for the High Priestess.
Absolutely, even just being near water, a lake, the ocean, a bath even.
Wow, I never thought about taking a bath as a spiritual practice.
It can be. It's about being present with the water, letting those thoughts flow. So what are the practical benefits of all this? Like, what can someone expect to gain from working with the High Priestess in water alchemy?
Well, enhanced intuition, for one.
That makes sense.
The High Priestess, she helps you strengthen that connection to your inner voice.
So you're more receptive to those subtle nudges?
Exactly. It's a huge benefit because, let's be honest, we spend so much time second-guessing ourselves, ignoring our gut feelings.
They really do.
This is about reclaiming that innate wisdom we all have.
So it's not just about intuition, it's about using it to heal and grow.
Absolutely. That's another benefit. Deep emotional healing.
In what way?
Water rituals, guided by the High Priestess, they can help uncover and process those repressed emotions.
Leading to greater well-being.
Exactly. And finally, there's unlocking those mystical insights.
Mystical insight.
Those deeper truths about yourself, the universe.
The stuff that might have been hidden before?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I'm sold, but how do I start? What are some practical ways to connect with the High Priestess's energy?
One beautiful practice is creating moon water.
Moon water. What is that?
It's water that's been charged under the full moon.
Literally charged by the moon.
Yeah, you can leave a bowl of water outside overnight,
Okay.
but to make a deeper connection with the High Priestess, meditate on her image, her energy, while the water's charging.
So you're intentionally infusing the water with your energy.
That's it. You can drink it, use it in your bath, water your plants, anything.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It's a way to bring that lunar energy, that intuitive energy, into your everyday life.
I love that. Are there other practices?
Definitely dream journaling is another great one.
Dreams.
Yeah, the High Priestess is connected to the dream world.
That makes sense.
So keeping a journal to capture those messages from your intuition, it can be really insightful.
Our dreams often speak in symbols. And the High Priestess, she's like the queen of symbols.
Exactly. And remember, even just spending time in meditative stillness near water can be powerful.
Near water.
A lake, a river, the ocean, even...
It's about creating that space, that quiet, to hear those whispers of intuition.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered a lot. The High Priestess's symbolism, her connection to universal energy, how she guides us in water alchemy, even some tips to connect with her power.
And we've only just begun.
Really? There's more.
Oh, yes, so much more. But the key takeaway here is that we all have those intuitive abilities inside us, symbolized by the High Priestess, just waiting to be awakened.
And water alchemy, with its focus on reflection, transformation, nature, it can be a powerful way to unlock that wisdom.
It's about recognizing how profound water can be as a tool for self-discovery, spiritual growth.
It's like water acts as a bridge between our conscious and subconscious mind.
That's a wonderful way to think about it. It's not just about, like, drinking moon water and hoping for the best.
It's a partnership with water.
Exactly, using it to guide your spiritual exploration.
Which brings us right back to the High Priestess.
She's not just posing there, looking mysterious.
She's showing us the way.
She's holding space for this deep inner work, you know?
But what about the skeptics out there? People who hear water alchemy and think it's a bit out there.
I get it, the skepticism, but think about this. Water is essential for life.
Yeah, we can't live without it.
It's the basis of our physical existence. So wouldn't it make sense that it might hold a key to our spiritual and emotional well-being too?
It's a really good point. We don't often stop to think about water's deeper significance.
We really do take it for granted, and it's this incredible force, gentle and nurturing, but also destructive.
Shaping landscapes, carving out canyons.
But also essential for that delicate balance of life.
So water alchemy is about tapping into that power, personally and universally.
Exactly. Recognizing that we're not separate from nature, we're a part of it.
And water helps us bridge that gap between the physical and spiritual.
You got it.
You know, I've always felt drawn to water, but never really knew why. Maybe this is it.
It's fascinating how personal this journey can be. It's not one size fits all.
So it's more about intuition and experimentation than strict rules.
Exactly. The High Priestess wouldn't want you to blindly follow dogma. She'd encourage you to trust your own guidance. Listen to your soul.
Okay, so if someone's ready to explore, where do they begin?
Start simple. Spend time near a body of water. Just observe.
Observe.
Yeah, how it moves, the sounds, the reflections. Take it all in with your senses.
So before any rituals or practices, it's about cultivating awareness, appreciation.
Exactly. Build a relationship with water. See it as a living entity with its own energy and wisdom.
I love that, like rediscovering something we've always known but forgotten.
Beautiful way to put it. It's about reconnecting with that innate wisdom.
And the High Priestess, she's the perfect guide for this journey.
She is the guardian of that threshold, inviting us to explore the uncharted territories of our own souls.
Speaking of uncharted territories, are there any downsides to all this?
Yeah.
Challenges? I mean, diving into the subconscious can be intense, right?
That's a great question. And yes, working with the subconscious can bring up a lot.
Stuff we might not want to face.
Yeah, buried emotions, limiting beliefs, even past traumas.
So it's not for the faint of heart.
It doesn't have to be scary, but it does require courage, self-awareness.
And a support system.
Yes, definitely a support system. Approach this work with respect and know when to reach out if it gets overwhelming.
So the goal isn't to suppress, but to process those difficult emotions.
Exactly. Water is cleansing, healing, but you have to let those emotions flow through you.
A therapist, a friend, a spiritual mentor could be really helpful.
Absolutely. The High Priestess represents wisdom and guidance, but that guidance can come from inside and outside of ourselves.
Finding the support you need to feel safe and empowered.
That's it.
We've been talking about the High Priestess and water alchemy generally, but are there any historical or cultural examples of how these principles have been applied?
Oh, tons. Water has always been central to spiritual and mystical practices across cultures.
So it's not just a New Age concept.
No, not at all. The principles are timeless. Think of ancient rituals involving sacred wells, rivers, springs.
Water is a source of life, purification, even divination.
Exactly. It's been seen that way for centuries.
The water alchemy is rooted in these ancient traditions.
It is. It's a modern term, but the ideas are ancient. For example, in many indigenous cultures, water is seen as a sacred being.
A source of wisdom and healing.
Yes, and there are rituals with water offerings, water blessings, purification ceremonies.
Honoring the spirit of water, its power to connect us to the divine.
Absolutely. And in ancient Egypt, the Nile River was central to their entire cosmology, their beliefs.
The annual flooding of the Nile, they believed it brought fertility and renewal.
They even had a goddess of the Nile, Hapi, associated with abundance and prosperity.
So this idea of water as a sacred life-giving force, it's woven throughout human history.
It really is. And even more recently, think about hydrotherapy, using water for healing.
Hot springs, mineral baths, even just a relaxing bath.
All ways of tapping into the healing properties of water.
It seems like water alchemy is bringing together these ancient traditions with a modern understanding of the mind-body connection.
That's perfect, reclaiming those ancient practices and applying them to our modern lives.
You know, it's so much more than just rituals. It's a whole different way of life, a new way of seeing the world.
It's about realizing we're not separate from nature, we're a part of it.
And water, with its ability to connect, cleanse, transform, it's a powerful ally in our self-discovery.
It is.
This has been so eye-opening. I have a completely new appreciation for water, its ability to guide us on our spiritual path.
I'm so glad to hear that. And remember, it's a personal journey, no right way to do it.
Find what resonates with you.
Exactly. What speaks to your soul, let the wisdom of water be your guide.
Before we move on, I want to go back to the potential challenges of working with the subconscious. We mentioned a support system, but are there any other tips, precautions?
That's crucial. The subconscious is incredibly powerful, remember?
Powerful how?
It holds our fears and insecurities, sure, but also our greatest potential untapped wisdom.
Like an ocean, with calm waters and hidden depths.
Exactly. And you wouldn't go scuba diving without training and equipment, right?
You to be prepared.
Same with the subconscious. Approach it with respect, caution.
Don't force anything.
No, ease in. Let the process unfold naturally.
Listen to your intuition.
Yes. Trust your inner guidance. If something feels off, too intense, step back, reassess. No need to rush.
Good advice. What else?
Be mindful of your intentions. Ask yourself, what am I hoping to gain from this? Healing, clarity, a deeper connection.
Be intentional.
Exactly. And remember, the subconscious often communicates indirectly through symbols, metaphors, feelings, not always clear language.
So pay attention to those things.
Dreams, intuition, synchronicities, all of it.
Like learning a whole new language of understanding.
You got it. One that goes beyond the rational mind.
The water alchemy is about opening ourselves up to a different way of knowing.
More intuitive, feeling-based, connected to nature.
This has been such a rich conversation. We're just scratching the surface here.
There's always more to explore. That's the beauty of it. A never-ending journey of wisdom and understanding.
Let's bring it back to the High Priestess for a moment. What's her core message for us in the context of this practice?
She reminds us that true power lies within. She's beckoning us to dive deep.
Into the subconscious.
Trust the currents of our intuition and come out transformed by the wisdom we find.
It's about reclaiming our own inner authority.
Exactly, becoming masters of our own destiny. We're not victims of circumstance, we're powerful creators
Reshape our own realities.
through thoughts, emotions, intentions.
And water, with its fluidity, its ability to cleanse and renew, becomes the tool for this transformation.
It's a mirror, the vessel, the
It's
catalyst.
more than just knowledge or rituals, it's something deeper.
It's about reconnecting to our essence, that divine spark within each of us, remembering who we truly are.
Reclaiming our power, wisdom, that connection to the divine feminine.
Embracing the flow, trusting our intuition, being guided by the wisdom of water.
This has been an incredible deep dive. My understanding of the High Priestess, water alchemy, my own relationship with water, it's all transformed.
The pleasure has been all mine, and remember, this is just the beginning.
There's always more to learn.
Always. So keep diving deep, exploring, trusting the flow.
Before we wrap up, one more question. We talked about support systems, but what about people starting out who don't have access to a therapist, mentor, or even a trusted friend? What advice would you give to someone embarking on this journey alone?
That's a great question. Not everyone has that readily available support system, especially when venturing into something as personal as the subconscious.
So what's the solution? How can someone do this safely and effectively on their own?
Start slowly, gently. Don't do too much too soon.
Like dipping your toes in the water first.
Exactly. The subconscious is uncharted waters. Approach it with respect, caution.
Honor your own pace.
Yes, listen to your intuition, trust your inner guidance. If something feels wrong, too intense, step back, reassess.
Makes sense. What else?
Create a safe and sacred space for your practice.
Like a dedicated room.
It could be, or a quiet corner, a comfortable spot where you can sit undisturbed, meditate.
Setting the stage for inner work.
Exactly, a space that's inviting, calming, where you can relax, let go of distractions, add elements that resonate with you, candles, crystals, incense, music.
It's amazing how those small touches can shift the energy.
It's about creating that ritual space, signaling to your mind and body that it's time for a different state of awareness.
So I've got pacing ourselves, creating a safe space, any other essential tips for solo explorers?
One more crucial one, keep a journal.
A journal.
Write down your experiences, insights, dreams, challenges, everything.
Like a roadmap of the journey.
It is. The act of writing is powerful, helps you process emotions, track your progress.
Making sense of those subtle shifts.
Your journal becomes a trusted companion, a place to express yourself freely without judgment.
So valuable.
It helps identify patterns, recurring themes, gain deeper insights.
Journaling should not be overlooked.
It's simple but profound, connects you to your inner wisdom.
So for those going solo, remember, pace yourself, create a safe space, keep a journal.
3 powerful tools for self-discovery.
And remember, even solo, you're never truly alone.
The High Priestess is there to support you, trust your intuition, connect with the power of water, embrace the journey.
I think that's a perfect place to transition to our final thoughts.
Yeah, it's not just about, drinking moon water and hoping for the best. There's a real intentionality to it.
It's active, like a partnership with water.
Exactly, using it to guide your exploration.
Which brings us back to the High Priestess.
She's not just posing,
Right.
She embodies that active role, holding space for this deep inner work.
She's showing us how to do it.
In a way, yeah.
But what about people who, are skeptical? Some folks might hear water alchemy and think, that's a little out there.
I understand that, but here's the thing. Water, it's essential for life.
We need it to survive.
It's the basis of our physical existence, so wouldn't it make sense that it could be a key to our spiritual and emotional well-being too?
That's a good point. I mean, we're surrounded by water, but we don't always think about its deeper meaning.
You really don't. We take it for granted, and it's such a powerful force.
Powerful.
Yeah, gentle, nurturing, but also incredibly destructive.
Shaping landscapes, carving canyons.
But also essential for that balance of life.
So water alchemy is about tapping into that power, both personal and universal.
Exactly. Recognizing we're not separate from nature, we're part of it.
And water bridges that gap between the physical and spiritual.
Yes, exactly.
I've always felt drawn to water, but I never really knew why. Maybe this is it.
It's fascinating how personal this can be. There's no one right way.
It's about intuition, experimentation, not rules.
Exactly. The High Priestess wouldn't want you to blindly follow anything. She'd want you to trust your own guidance, your soul.
So for someone who's ready to, dive in, where do they begin?
Start simple, spend time near water, observe it.
Obs-
Notice how it moves, the sounds, the reflections. Use your senses.
So before rituals or practices, it's about building that awareness.
Cultivating that appreciation, yeah.
See it as something more than just water.
A living entity with its own energy, wisdom.
I love that. It's like we're rediscovering something we've always known but maybe forgotten.
Beautiful. That's it. Reconnecting with that innate wisdom.
And the High Priestess, she's the guide on this journey.
She is standing at the threshold, inviting us to explore.
The unknown parts of ourselves.
Our souls, yeah.
But we talked about the benefits. What about the challenges? Diving into the subconscious can be intense, right?
It can be. Yeah, working with the subconscious can bring up a lot of stuff.
Stuff we might not want to deal with.
Buried emotions, limiting beliefs, past traumas. It's not always easy.
So it's not for everyone.
It's not about being fearless. It's about courage, self-awareness, approaching this work with respect.
Knowing your limits.
And having a support system.
People you can turn to.
If it gets too intense, yeah, knowing when to reach out.
So it's not about suppressing, but processing those difficult emotions.
Exactly. Water can cleanse, heal, but you have to let it flow through you.
It's like facing those emotions head on.
In a way, yeah.
A therapist, a friend, a mentor, those could all be helpful.
They can be. The High Priestess represents wisdom and guidance, but that guidance can come from inside and outside of ourselves.
So finding the support you need to feel safe, empowered.
That's the key.
We've been talking about the High Priestess and water alchemy broadly, but are there specific examples, historically or culturally, of how these principles have been used?
Oh, absolutely. Water has always been important in spiritual practices across cultures for centuries.
This isn't just a New Age thing.
Not at all. The principles are timeless. Think of ancient rituals with sacred wells, rivers, springs.
Water is a source of life, purification, divination.
Exactly. It's been seen that way for a long time.
So water alchemy is rooted in these traditions.
It is a modern term, but the ideas are ancient. Like in indigenous cultures, water is often seen as a sacred being.
A source of wisdom, healing.
Yes, with rituals, offerings, blessings, ceremonies.
Honoring the spirit of water, its connection to the divine.
Exactly. And in ancient Egypt, the Nile River was central to their whole belief system.
The annual flooding, they saw it as bringing fertility, renewal.
They even had a goddess of the Nile, Hapi, associated with abundance and prosperity.
This idea of water as sacred, life-giving, it's everywhere in history.
It really is. And even more recently, think of hydrotherapy, using water for healing.
Like hot springs, mineral baths.
Even a simple bath.
Tapping into the healing properties of water.
Exactly.
It seems like water alchemy is bringing those ancient traditions together with a modern understanding of the mind-body connection.
That's a great way to put it, reclaiming those practices, applying them to our lives today.
It's more than rituals. It's a whole way of life, a way of seeing the world.
Realizing we're not separate from nature, but part of it.
And water can help us with that. Connect, cleanse, transform.
It's a powerful ally on the journey.
This has been so eye-opening. I have a whole new appreciation for water.
I'm glad to hear that. And remember, it's a personal journey. Find what works for you.
What resonates, what speaks to you.
Let water be your guide.
But before we move on, let's go back to the challenges of working with the subconscious. We talked about support systems, but are there other tips, precautions?
The subconscious is incredibly powerful, remember that.
Powerful how?
It holds our fears, insecurities, sure, but also our potential, our untapped wisdom.
Like an ocean with hidden depths.
You wouldn't go scuba diving without the right gear, the training.
You need to be prepared.
Same with the subconscious. Approach it with respect, caution. Don't rush in.
Don't force anything.
No, ease in. Let it unfold naturally. Trust your intuition, your inner guidance.
If something feels off, step back.
Exactly. Reassess. No need to rush.
Good advice? Anything else?
Be mindful of your intentions. What are you hoping to gain? Healing, clarity, a deeper connection.
Be intentional.
Yes. And remember, the subconscious, it often speaks in symbols, metaphors, feelings.
Not always clear and direct.
Pay attention to those things. Your dreams, your intuition, synchronicities.
Like learning a new language.
Exactly. A language beyond the rational mind.
Water alchemy is about opening ourselves up to that different way of knowing.
More intuitive, more feeling-based, more connected to nature.
This has been such a rich conversation, and we've only scratched the surface.
There's always more to discover. That's the beauty of it.
A never-ending journey.
Of wisdom, understanding.
Let's focus on the High Priestess again. In the context of water alchemy, what's her core message for us?
She's reminding us that true power lies within
In ourselves.
She's beckoning us to dive deep into our subconscious, trust our intuition, and come out transformed.
Like a rebirth.
In a way, yeah.
It's about reclaiming our power,
Becoming masters of our own destiny, not victims, but creators.
shaping our own reality.
Through our thoughts, emotions, intentions, exactly.
And water helps us do that.
It becomes the tool for transformation.
The mirror, the vessel, the catalyst.
It's more than just knowledge, rituals. It's deeper than that.
Connecting with something bigger.
Our essence, the divine spark within us, remembering who we truly are.
Reclaiming our power, our wisdom, our connection to the divine feminine.
It's about embracing the flow, trusting our intuition, being guided by the wisdom of water.
This deep dive has been incredible. My understanding of the High Priestess, of water alchemy, even my relationship with water, it's all changed.
I'm so happy to hear that. And remember, this is just the beginning.
The journey continues.
It does. So keep diving deep, keep exploring, keep trusting the flow.
Before we wrap up, one more question. We've talked about support systems, but what if someone doesn't have access to a therapist, mentor, or a trusted friend? What advice do you have for someone doing this alone?
That's so important. Not everyone has that readily available support, especially when exploring something as personal as this.
So how do they do it safely, effectively?
Start slowly, gently. Don't overwhelm yourself.
Don't dive in head first.
The subconscious, it's uncharted territory. Approach it with respect, caution.
Honor your own pace.
Listen to your intuition, your inner guide. If something feels wrong, step back, reassess. No need to rush.
What else?
Create a safe space for your practice.
A dedicated room, a quiet corner,
A place where you can be undisturbed, to meditate, to connect.
a sanctuary.
Exactly. Make it inviting, calming, a place where you can relax, let go of distractions.
Add elements that resonate with you. Candles, crystals, music, whatever feels right.
It's about creating that ritual space, signaling to your mind and body that it's time for something different.
So we've got pacing, creating a safe space. Any other essential tips for solo explorers?
One more, keep a journal.
A journal.
Write everything down, experiences, insights, dreams, challenges, all of it.
To track your progress.
Exactly. Writing is powerful, helps process emotions, make sense of things.
A tangible record of the journey.
Your journal becomes a safe space, a place to express yourself freely without judgment.
It's so valuable, journaling.
It is. It connects you to your inner wisdom, helps you understand your experiences.
So for those going solo, remember, pace yourself, create a safe space, and keep a journal.
3 powerful tools.
And remember, even if you're alone, you're not really alone.
The High Priestess is there to guide you. Trust your intuition, connect with water, embrace the journey.
I think that's a perfect transition to our final thoughts. You know, one thing that really strikes me is how, I don't know, accessible water alchemy seems.
Yeah, it's not about needing, like, fancy tools or anything.
Right, just water, intention, and an open mind.
Exactly, and water is everywhere.
It really is. Our homes, the sky, rivers, lakes,
Like
oceans.
The potential for transformation, it's all around us.
But we often take it for granted.
We do. We turn on the faucet without even thinking, rush through our showers.
Staring at our phones while sitting by a lake.
It makes you wonder, what if we approached water differently?
With more respect.
Reverence,
Yeah.
yeah. What if we saw it as more than just a resource
As something sacred, something powerful.
that can connect us to something bigger than ourselves?
I love that. How do you think our lives would change if we really honored water that way?
Imagine pausing before you drink water, taking a moment to be grateful,
To appreciate it.
or feeling the water cleanse not just your body, but your spirit too when you shower.
Taking the time to connect with the energy of a river or the ocean.
It's about shifting our perspective, seeing the world through the lens of water.
And by doing that, maybe we uncover something within ourselves
That hidden wisdom, that intuition,
that's been there all along.
waiting to be discovered.
This has been an amazing deep dive. My understanding of the High Priestess, water alchemy, even my own relationship with water, it's all shifted.
That's wonderful to hear, and remember, this is just the start.
There's always more to explore.
Always, this is a journey.
So to our listener, if water is like a mirror reflecting our inner depths, what might it be trying to tell you?
Explore that connection. Tap into the wisdom of the High Priestess. See what you discover.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the High Priestess and water alchemy.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and feel inspired to explore your own relationship with water.
Remember, the most profound truths are often hidden just beneath the surface.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep trusting the flow